you. Booze makes me happy. That's why I'm smiling and a bit giddy tonight. That's right. What are we going to have to keep the happiness going this evening? We're going to have a product from Beam Suntory / Makers Mark. That's right. At Loretta, Kentucky, US of A. Yay, yay. And we're going to have their Makers Mark. This is the original version. There's also Makers 46, cask strength, etc., etc. This is a bourbon. It's year-round serving. It clocks in at 45% ABV and 90 proof. It's, you know, a 6-ish aged bourbon product. Why do I say that? Because they pull it between 5 and 7 years generally. For a 750 ml bottle of this product, it'll cost you between $22 and $35. From what I can surmise, I paid $11 approximately for this 375 ml example I have in front of me here. Now, what is unique about this product? Well, it's Maker's Mark, so that makes it unique, and the wax and all that stuff that Mr. Bill Samuels Sr. and his wife Margie created the label and all that stuff, and also his wife created the wax dipping, which is really cool. But anyways, Mr. Samuels, after baking several loaves of bread, came up with the following combination of grains. Corn at 70%, wheat, yes, that's right, this is a wheated bourbon, and not just wheat, red winter wheat, and malted barley at 14%. So we get our 100% there, and after that, you know, 6-ish years of aging, we get an awesome bourbon product to pour down our necks. Like I said, this is a classic. It's one of the first that I really started like using as kind of, I don't know, you would consider maybe like a daily drinker. I don't drink daily. I usually only drink on the weekends, but it's kind of the ones that you would sit by the fire, you know, especially if you're at a campground or something like that, chill and kick it. So, you know what? I always pre-pour my, you know, sort of spirits here to let them breathe a bit. So, you know what? Let's get up to the appearance of our friend Maker's Mark, and then we'll start talking about the aroma and all that old shit. So, what's it look like? It's a lovely, darker amber color. Just moving the glass here. There's tons and tons of alcohol lake just tearing down the inside of this glass. It's a gorgeous, I guess, caramel amber color. Sometimes clover honey will look like this as well. Maybe, or maybe honey syrup will look like this. But take a look at that. That's a gorgeous libation in the snifter. I can already smell the vanilla notes wafting off of it from here. But you know what? I gotta dig in and tell you what's up with the aroma. Man, right up in front, there's that lovely Maker's Mark spice. It's got a spicy note to the aroma. After that, vanilla, barrel char. Some nice citrus notes. Caramel, toffee. Man, just really well defined. It's not overly like boozy or phenolic in the nose. Of course, this is a, you know, a 90 proof spirit, so it's going to give you that kick of alcohol in the nostrils when you breathe it in. But the vanilla, after it opens even more, takes over. The barrel char is coming up more for me. Some like tannic, woody oak notes are coming. Maybe a bit of like raisin and cherry-ish, kind of like dried raisin or cherry is in there. And the citrus comes in from the background to balance it all off. It smells lovely. So we're going to do it 2 ways tonight, like I usually do with most spirits. We're going to do it straight up neat like this, and then we'll put a bit of water in it and tell you what's up with the taste. Let's dive in. Cheers! Been waiting a while tonight for this one. I've earned it. Trust me. Yeah. Hello, old friend. Right up in front, you're greeted with that maker spice right off the bat. After that, the vanilla comes in large and in charge. Tannic wood notes. The citrus is faint in the background. It's got a nice medium, slick mouthfeel to it. It's not super full-bodied. My favorite version of this is the cask strength, because that's just a big, present, up-in-your-grill libation. But, man, nice, smooth, woody tannic notes that build. The heat is actually, I think, in check. I guess because I drink bourbon all the time. I'm not really getting that much warming in the chest for what this is. You know, at 90 proof, that's not a piker, you know, kind of libation there. But, man, you know, Greaches says, hello, I'm vanilla and tasty and caramel and toffee. Drink me down. Okay, I'll oblige. A little bit of tobacco notes in there as well now. And the thing I like about Makers is all that really transfers through in the taste. What you get in the nose, it's pretty straight up and honest. What it smells like is what it tastes like. That vanilla and the tobacco and all that stuff I was talking about before, the citric notes, the cherry, that really comes through. And in the back end, I almost have like a cherry vanilla taste with a bit of like barrel char to it. Man, super tasty, neat. That's how I usually drink it. I do put a dollop of water in there from time to time, but you know, like after a really long day, I'll just drink it straight up neat. I'm not an ice guy on my booze, but hey, anyway. So let's put some water in here and tell you what's up with that. A couple eyedroppers full here. There we go. Give it a bit of a swirl. Let's see. Okay, much more citrus on the notes now, on the nose now that I've opened it up with the water. The vanilla is not as present, but the caramel is a little bit bigger. I'm getting a little more of a tobacco note, but the citrus and the cherry and the raisin have increased exponentially after I put the water into it. That's pretty interesting because I usually don't drink it like this, but that's neat. Well, I usually drink it neat, but it's kind of cool. Let's open it up. Smells lovely again, and it's a little toned down, a little bit less bodacious, but delicious smelling just the same. The vanilla is there, but it's toned down a little bit from the beginning after I put that little hit of water into it. Let's see what it tastes like now. A little more smooth. Of course, it's got some water in it, but the vanilla is more present in the taste, and actually the spiciness that you get from, I guess, coming from the rye, excuse me, this doesn't have rye, I'm sorry. So the spiciness that's inherent in this coming from the wheat, I guess maybe, it kind of amps up a notch there once you put the water in it. It was actually softer, and the vanilla for me was more forward than it was before I put the water into it. Interesting. Because like I say, I usually don't drink this with water in it. So let's see. It's got a thinner body, of course, once you put the water in it. It's not as coating, but the flavor seems to last in the mouth a bit longer, and especially that spice. And as I drink more of it, and in this format, it invades my palate more with citrus notes and that little bit of like cinnamon. That's what I'm getting now. Some like cinnamon as part of that spice is actually coming up once you put the water into it. Pretty freaking cool. So you hear I'm digging it. It's a tasty libation, no doubt. And it's a classic of the bourbon world all the way around. I don't think many people would argue that. Some people will say what they're going to say, but this is a true classic of bourbon world in these days. So let's grade this. I think it's got a nice mouth feel. It's not super viscous. It's not as coating as I may like it, but it's got a good mouth feel. It definitely has presence. It's dialed in at the right ABV. I think at 90 for what it is, though I prefer the cask strength, which is much stronger. But I think that comes out like 52 ABV, somewhere around there. But for what it is, it's an honest-to-goodness, straight-up bourbon. And I think I'm going to go 89. Really tasty. This is an everyday drinker sort of bourbon. If you like a glass of bourbon at the end of the night to chill out and relax, this is definitely a great option. It's not going to let you down. I put this up there with like Old Forester and Buffalo Trace. Bourbons like that are really solid. They always taste pretty much the same. They're really consistent. They're well blended in the barrel house. It's just, man, tasty, tasty stuff. So, have you had Maker's Mark? You probably have it sometime, maybe. If you're a bourbon drinker, let me know what you think, because I definitely like to quid pro quo and the back and forth, because when you let me know what you know, my knowledge expands, and I love to hear other people's opinion too, not just mine. That's why I like to watch bourbon reviews and all that kind of stuff. Also, if you could do me a big favor and think globally, drink locally, and support the craft, booze or liquor movement, whatever you want to call it, and beer movement too, while you're at it, because beer goes good with liquor, right? Maybe? I don't know. A lot of breweries use Maker's Mark barrels to age their beer. Anywho, so, that, along with, if you could maybe rate, comment, subscribe, especially if this is your first time with us, and do me a big favor and smash that like button, because that, along with, all I need is 1 dram, maybe a dram and a half of Maker's Mark to definitely put my big-ass booze drinking happy face on. So to the next DJs BrewTube, I got nothing but a hell of a bunch of Maker's Mark drinking love for you, and you know what's coming for you. You're ready for it by now, aren't you? Hell yes, a big-ass